A Texas family helped rescue while clinging to a tree after being swept 20 miles downriver. One Texas family helped save a woman's life who was clinging to a tree for hours as deadly flash flooding struck Kerr County over the weekend. The woman who was swept 20 miles downriver caught the Jeter family's attention when she saw Carl and began to scream for help. While he was outside on his deck, God, she spotted me and she started to scream for help. Carl told Fox and Friends for a weekend on Sunday. At first, I couldn't locate her. I thought she was in the river itself going downstream. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I finally was able to look across the river, and at the end of the tree, I spotted her. So I began to call out to her to tell her that I see her. I got you. We're going to get you some help. It's going to be okay. Just hang on. Wow. The family was able to call for help, and ultimately, Texas troopers rescued the woman from the tree after an hours long nightmare. There were multiple teams that showed up, Josh said. There was a swift water rescue from Boring, Texas team that showed, and then there were some state Texas Parks and Wildlife game wardens that showed with boats as well. We were able to help launch those boats to hand into the water for them to get in and rescue her. Let's eat dinner. It was just kind of you didn't think about it. You just did what you needed to do to help get them into the water. Hey, you gotta chill and save the young ladies that was clinging to life in a tree. That was sad. That is sad. It's sad. This happened in Kerr County. She was clinging to life to a tree. In a tree. She was in a tree. The Jeters invited the woman into their home after the harrowing rescue. Carl said she was in shock. She was cut and bruised and banged up from the trick and cold. He said, so we wrapped her in blankets and towels and got her in the house. The dry spot because it was raining outside at the time pretty good. She was extremely upset, concerned, worried, what have you, what have you. More than 50 people have been confirmed dead in central Texas since the flash flooding began on Friday, and authorities are still frantically searching for more still missing. There were more than 27 young girls who remain missing in Kerr County who were staying at Camp Mystic, an all girls private Christian retreat in Hunt, Texas. Golly. 5 young girls who were staying at the camp have been confirmed dead. Authorities said about 850 people have been rescued so far. Oh my God. That is sad. That is sad. Hey, go chill. Man, I'm glad they rescued that lady. Prayers for the families. Prayers for the families. Attack on rural America. Kentucky governor hits Medicaid cut in Trump's mega bill. I'm trying to wait till the story to pull up. What's going on right now? There we go. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear argued that the Medicaid cuts in President Donald Trump's sweeping tax policy bill will have a devastating impact on rural communities. It will. It'll have a bad impact, devastating on a lot of rural areas, a lot of rural communities. It's supposed to take effect. No, that's the travel ban. Supposed to take effect tomorrow morning at 12:01 a.m. That's the travel ban for Black nations. Um, it's the single worst piece of legislation I've seen in my lifetime, and it is a congressional Republican and presidential attack on rural America. The Democrat told CNN Dana Bash in a July 6th interview on State of the Union. He said around 200,000 people are could lose their health care under the bill, which implements new work requirements for Medicaid and a raft of other restrictions that healthcare experts argue will trigger hospital closures in rural areas. Lawmakers included a $50 billion fund in the legislation to prop up these hospitals. But experts say it won't be enough to make up for the 155 billion expected decline in federal Medicaid spending in rural areas. Bashir, who is considered a prominent potential presidential candidate for the party in 2028, said up to 35 rural hospitals in Kentucky are closing at the result of the bill. And I heard Dobie talking about it. She with Trump. She with Trump. And everybody deserve what they get. Kind of shit is that? What the kind of message that to say to somebody? What that means is our economy takes a huge hit. He said, you lose 200 jobs from doctors and nurses and orderlies. And all of a sudden, the coffee shop does worse. The bank doesn't have many folks coming in. And this is going to hit rural America right in the face. Still, Republicans have argued that the biggest expected cut to Medicaid, the implement of work requirement for able-bodied adults, is popular among voters. And other changes should, such as more frequent eligibility checks, are common sense options. So they cutting out this because people that are able-bodied to work shouldn't be on Medicaid. Is that what they're saying? All able-bodied shouldn't get food stamps. They should work for their food stamps. They should work. They should be working instead of getting food stamps. Hell, I'm gonna give it $23 in food stamps every month. $23. 23. Not 300, not 200. $23 in food stamps. I let them roll over to the next one. Democrats unfortunately seem to think that poor people are stupid. I don't think poor people are stupid. I think they have agency, and I think to have them register twice a year for these benefits is not a burden. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent also said on CNN on July 6th, people who want to infant infant lies the poor and people who need them need these Medicaid benefits are alarming. Alarming. Republicans in Congress passed a massive tax cut and spending package on July 3rd. Trump signed it into law on July 4th. It was a key goal for Trump and Republican leadership in Congress, which captured a terrific during the 2024 election and has used that political muscle to force what they dubbed their one big beautiful bill through both chambers at a rapid fire pace. The passage can, despite deep reservations within their own party and unanimous oppo- opposition from Democrats who see it as a ticket to winning back congressional majorities in 2026. Amazon Prime Day starts Tuesday, but they just dropped a bunch of early something, early deals this weekend. Delta and Texas flash floods continue to rise. Death toll in Central Texas flash flood rises to 70 as sheriff says 11 campers remain missing. Kerrville, Texas. Families sifted through waterlogged debris Sunday and stepped inside empty cabins at Camp Mystic as all girls camp summer camp ripped apart by flash floods that washed homes off their foundations and killed at least 70 people in Central Texas. Rescuers maneuvering through challenging terrain continued their desperate search for the missing, including 11 girls and a counselor from the camp. How many more remain unaccounted for across the Texas Hill Country and beyond remains unclear, as authorities haven't given an estimate, even though it has been 3 days since the storm began pounding the state. In Kerr County, home to Camp Mystic and other youth camps, searchers found 16 bodies since Saturday afternoon, bringing the total number of dead there to 59, including 21 children, said Sheriff Larry Little. Oh, wow, 21 children. Mm. He pledged to keep searching until everybody is found. On Friday's flash flood, Four deaths were reported in Travis County, three in Burnett, two in Kendall, and one each in Tom Green and Williamson County. Families were allowed to look around the camp beginning Sunday morning. One girl walked out of a building carrying a large bill. A man who said his daughter was rescued from a cabin on the highest point in the camp walked a riverbank looking in clumps of trees and under rocks. A woman and a teenage girl, both wearing rubber waders, briefly went inside one of the cabins, which stood next to a pile of soap mattresses and a storage trunk and clothes. At one point, the pair doubled over, sobbing before they embraced. One family left with a blue footlocker. The teenage girl had tears running down her face, looking out of the window, gazed at the wreckage as they slowly drove away. While the family saw the devastation for the first time, nearby crews operating heavy equipment pulled tree trunks and tangled branches from the water as they searched the river. With each passing hour, the outlook of finding more survivors became even more bleak. Volunteers and some families of the missing who drove to the disaster zone searched the riverbanks despite being asked not to do so. Authorities face growing questions about whether enough warnings were issued in an area alone vulnerable to flooding, and whether enough preparations were made. President Donald Trump signed a major disaster declaration Sunday for Kerr County, activating the Federal Emergency Management Agency to Texas. These families are enduring an unimaginable tragedy, with many lives lost and many still missing. Trump posted on social media. The destructive, fast-moving waters rose 26 feet, 8 meters on the river in only 45 minutes before daybreak Friday, washing away homes and vehicles. The danger was not over as flash flood watches remained in effect and more rain fell in central Texas on Sunday. Searchers used helicopters, drones to find victims and to rescue people stranded in trees and from camps isolated by washed out roads. Officials said more than 850 people were rescued in the first 36 hours. Prayers to Texas and from the Vatican. Ooh, okay. I'm reading about the Texas flash flooding. Governor Greg Abbott vowed to vowed that authorities will work around the clock and said new areas were being searched as the water receded. He declared Sunday the day of prayer for the state. I urge every Texan to join me in prayer this Sunday for the lives lost, for those still missing, for those recovery of our communities, and for safety of those on the front line. He said in a statement. In Rome, Pope Leo offered special prayers for those touched by the disaster. History First American Pope spoke in English at the end of his Sunday noon lesson. I would like to express sincere condolences to all the families who have lost loved ones, in particular their daughters who were in a summer camp. In the disaster caused by flooding of the Guadalupe River in Texas in the United States, we pray for them. The hills along the Guadalupe River are dotted with century-old youth camps and campgrounds where generations of families have come to swim and enjoy the outdoors. The area is especially popular around the Independence Day holiday, making it more difficult to know how many are missing. Harrowing escapes from floodwater. Survivors shared terrifying stories of being swept away and clinging to trees as rampaging floodwaters carried trees and cars past them. Others fled to attics inside their homes, praying the water wouldn't reach them. At Camp Mystic, a cabin full of girls held onto a rope strung by rescuers as they walked across the bridge with the water whipping around their legs. Among those confirmed dead were an 8-year-old girl from Mountain Mountain Brook, Alabama. Oh, this man stop bothering me. I don't care about what I used to do. That was me in the past. That's not me now. What y'all doing today? Miss Kareem, what you up to? What are you up to today? I need to be asleep, but I'm not. Man, Miss Major Pain. What? This man said, you act like it meant nothing to you. Sometimes I feel like something controlling you, but you gotta be ready to get over it, and maybe I can help you. They can't help me do nothing. Just getting in from Golden Corral, stomach hurting. Uh-oh, you ate too much. You eat too much. This man said something controlling me. Okay. He said I look much happier and healthier than the other one. I'm happy in this one too. I'm the same person. Just different. I said I'm happy. Am I dating? I see somebody. I see somebody when they in town or they ain't busy. I go to their house and spend the weekend. But this one person, he ain't even from here. He ain't even from here. Talk about he missed me. How can you miss me? You all the way in Somalia, in Iran, Iraq, or wherever the hell he is. I know he was lying about where he was staying at. He was in Vegas, he said. Then he went to Somalia. Then he went to Iraq. Well, you just moved around, ain't you? I like when he writes these long books. Yeah, I get out the house every now and then. I get out the house, spend a whole week over there. Wait a minute. I want to go back to when he said something is controlling me. I feel like something is controlling you. I want to know what is controlling me. He said something is. I feel like something is controlling you. That's what I want to know. Just because I don't feel like I used to feel. Man, people change. People change. I change. I dated him for a while. We just talk on the phone. The text. We never met. How can you never meet somebody and they break up with you? Then what? You still be dreaming about them and all that kind of shit. I did that. Been there, they done that. Oh my god. He said you're trying to be stubborn with me, but I know how you operate. You seem not to understand me. Stubborn. The mind is a trampoline to play with. It is. It is. Am I being stubborn? I just don't want to be in a relationship with nobody I would never see. I would never see this person. I'm not. I would never see this person. Oh my god, what the hell is that? Oh well. I'm just waiting for him to text me back. Oh, he said I be rude and disrespectful sometimes. And so what? Rude. I said how? I'm gonna be rude in a few minutes. Tell him to stop texting me. Cause I ain't going backwards. We met him off of Instagram. Yeah, see you later. Don't forget to run them and see what's going on. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'll probably sleep later. Not doing it. I told you once before why I was not doing it. I don't have a cash out. That's why I'm not doing it. All right, see you later. Woo! He said I'm being rude and disrespectful sometimes too. How was that disrespectful? I called you and you didn't say much. And when I asked you why you're like that, you said that you didn't want to talk and that's so disrespectful. Man, if I don't want to talk, I don't want to talk. I want to talk to you. That's not being disrespectful. That ain't being disrespectful. But just not be wanting to talk. I don't feel like talking. What you gonna do? Call me next. Hey, what you doing? What you doing? I'm just sitting in my bed watching TV. Uh. He read my answers. He read my comments, but he ain't saying nothing. Court TV. Court TV. Do I want to get up in the morning and go to I don't feel like going. I'm kind of going to kiss her. If they're good, they're good. Just kind of on the phone. Read my answer.